Today on the podcast, we're talking about the winners of Bruin Bhangra 2022 Farishtey and breaking down their Khunda segment.
Watch the breakdown.
Our style of approaching the set was to make sure there was an X factor in every segment, sometimes multiple, just something cool every few counts to keep the audience engaged. So you'll see that in this segment we have a cool formation to start, then a prop gimmick, then a cool choreo moment, then just regular dancing, and then in the second part of our Khunda segment, which is our dhol, we have another kind of interesting formation, and then external prop gimmick into a cool dancing segment.
Cool.
So we're dropping off subs here, and then we pick them up in this very expanded, it's like a U essentially, looking at it from the front. And when we were talking about this, I called it the long H that we were making. It's this line moving backwards and two lines coming in from the side. But on every count, you're switching somebody from the horizontal to vertical, starting from the outsides. So this was a relatively simple concept to make on Dance App, but incredibly hard to teach. And when I initially had made this on Dance App, it was a 16 count. So I was like, okay, you move back in spot, two people switch, then you move it, then two people switch. But the other captains, Harji in particular, didn't think that would be fast enough or impressive enough. So instead of doing it over 16 counts, we decided to do it over 8. So simultaneously, while moving vertically or horizontally, we're also switching spots. So while it, again, is a very simple concept, it's incredibly hard to execute. And everybody has to hit the right spots precisely on the right count in order for it to hit.
Or you're also then bumping into somebody if you don't go to your right spot.
Yeah.
There's very small margin of error.
Very small. So it's an 8 count formation. It took us hours to teach. It took half the team 45 minutes to learn it, and then the other half was probably slower. And then we're an adult team, people have their lives going on, so we only ever had full sides together, because the formation is split in half essentially. And we only ever had all 8 on one side together 2 or 3 times. So it took a lot of reps, and I hope it goes well on stage.
Yeah. Cool. So from the mechanism, we move into setting up for our first gimmick in Khunda. It's essentially us pulling down 2 banners that showcase Kobe and Nipsey in one, and then us saluting to them, saying rest in peace to our angels. Just because we Kobe and Nipsey, and then also because it relates to the angel theme and gimmicks that we're doing throughout the set. The way we packaged this gimmick, I think, was super cool. I don't think either of us were involved with the idea of the way we're setting up the mechanism. Essentially what it is a Khunda that has a banner rolled up inside of it. A slit is cut out, and then the banner has a Velcro strip at the bottom, right? And then you attach another Khunda with a Velcro strip on it, and then you pull down your Khunda, the actual Khunda, and then the other person holding the fake banner Khunda pulls up and then reveals the banner.
This build-up.
The story of the build-up, you want to take it?
Yeah. So some of the choreo that we were doing is taken from our past Khunda segments, which I think every team should do. If you have something that slaps, use it. So we definitely did that here. And this build-up is actually an iteration of a build-up that we were supposed to use at NDC.
Hold on, let me cut him off. It wasn't an iteration or a build-up we were actually going to use. The build-up that we were actually doing, he wouldn't do. He was doing his own thing for fun and came up with this other build-up. And then we decided to use that build-up for this comp. So that's the story.
Yeah, so Ed was teaching this. It was a here, and then you spin it over your head, this helicopter thing. I just liked my version better, which was entirely different. And so we spent so much time trying to clean it for NDC, and then 2 days before, or the weekend before NDC, we were that build-up is not good, let's take it out. So we didn't even end up using it at NDC. But then this time, they all actually ended up liking the one that I was doing for fun, which I was just, it's a spin, using your wrist and all this stuff. So we ended up using it for this comp. And then the hit is like relatively simple. It's just jumps. And then again, like the way I think our team choreos is very trolly, and like sometimes to the point of it being annoying, like within each other. You know, like sometimes I'll ask like a serious question and like the answer I get is like a troll response, and I'm like, can we turn it off for like 20 seconds? But then like it also ends up being like our coolest choreo moments too. So like you'll see we hit the jumps and then we hit this like stab down. We termed Buddha Jal because we don't know what it's called. So it's like you're like stomping while like hitting your Khunda on the ground. And I was just doing it like to troll. Like we were in the warehouse choreoing at like 1 a.m. and like I was like, I like it. And then like everybody was like, yeah, let's keep it. So then that's like what immediately follows the jumps. And then we go into like, we had like these concepts of like, we left a lot on the table formationally at NDC, but I think we really thought about like, okay, what concepts did we use? What concepts did we not use? So like, there's one like very typical like, go into the corners and like bust out sort of thing. We never did that at NDC. So we're doing that for the second Khunda hit, just to like, cause we like to do these like multiple hits where you have like one hit, 8 counts later, 16 counts later, you have another hit.
Cool. So yeah, we finished Khunda there, and then it transitions into Khunda Jal. It's a completely different vibe, musically and choreo-wise, but I think they complement each other really well. I think the song for Khunda Jal is like rounds out our whole mix really well. I think it's like a little bit more folk, old school sounding. It's a newer song still, but just different than Garanojla. So in that sense, it's cool for Jal, and then we also incorporate like the main part of this Jal is the gimmick, and the way he like came up with the concept of the music to complement the gimmick was beautiful. Essentially, we have clouds in our performance the whole time, and these clouds they're like shaped like clouds, and we did like that TikTok trend where people put like cotton balls on their roof and then they had the LEDs under. So we did that with clouds, and so we have LEDs under them, and then like he made like a thunder thing in the mix, and then we turn off the lights, have it like flash like thunder, and then it drops into the jaw. Yeah. So that's like beautiful. I love this segment a lot. Yeah. And we're also on the front foot the whole time. So.
So the way it's like the like that build up that people do with doles, like I have that, but it's like a thunder effect. So like that's when the cloud will happen, and then we're even using like the Orpheum lighting to complement that. Hopefully, we'll see if it works out that way. But it'll look like there's like a storm happening. It's like a blue tinge of lighting with like kind of dark, but then still like some light, and then it goes into like this other like stupid sound effect I added. I was just like messing around because I feel like I don't use sound effects as much as other mixers. So I use this effect, like actually we've used it before, like in Khunda, we used it here, like woo! So this time I was like messing around and I put this effect in where it's like woo, 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 woo.
And then it just keeps, and then the way our team works is that once we like a sound effect, everybody screams it.
Yeah.
And so every time it comes up, the whole team fucking drop it into that sound effect.
Yeah, so that's the second hit. So I mentioned we like doing like multiple hits sometimes. So we hit this first jaw where it's me and him in the front, like also doing like a little bit of a trolley like jaw, like a lot of morda side to side. And then we get out of the way, and then the other two captains, Harji and Sirtaj, they come forward for this woo 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 hit. And then on that hit, we're also using the lighting to kind of complement the thunder effect there. As like it'll look like there's lights flashing across the stage, so like kind of like lightning.
We like the jaw itself is super cool. The second one,
build up is cool, and yeah.
The way we drop into it, essentially like we like take the Khunda from like our right shoulder, and then we grab it from the bottom with our right hand, and then we like turn it down and then throw it up, and then we drop down the Khunda with one hand, so it's just all resting on our shoulder with one hand, when we're holding it from the bottom.
Yeah. Sirtaj made that. So going a little bit behind the scenes, Sirtaj doesn't really do formations. So as we mess around, sometimes we're just like, Sirtaj, you're like filler choreo captain. No, but he's much more than that, of course. But like we were at my apartment, we were making these jal formations, and I was like, "Yo, Sirtaj, go like choreo Khunde." He goes into my second bedroom, and all of a sudden we just hear like a crash sound. Like this guy took my broom handle and is just like to choreo in the bedroom, and all of us we're sitting in the living room like making formations with me, him, and Harji. And all of a sudden we just hear boom, like he hit the fucking wall with the Khunda.
After the hit, he like whispers, he says, that hit. Yeah. So like he like figured out the choreo,
yeah.
But he also broke something.
Yeah. And this was one where it's like, okay, we wanted the first one where it's like, we do this roll, me and him do it in the front. We wanted that, and then we wanted Harji and Sirtaj to have the second one. So it's like, how do we do that? And how do we get to that while still doing something formationally when we were already in the right place?
So we said, let's just kneel.
Yeah.
So we just stay down while everybody else moves around us.
So this is where I'm a little bit iffy. I'm like, maybe we're packaging too much into a little bit of time. Mm-hmm. But we're doing this, like, I think Harji found it from like this marching band or something, and it's called the Decapitator. So we have like 6 people in the front that are like spinning their kunde over their back, and it's like honestly dangerous. Like it's
called the Decapitator.
Decapitator.
Yeah.
Like if somebody messes that up, Todla's gone.
Oh, no.
So we hope they've practiced a bunch, but that's like happening like 8 counts right after the banner thing, and then we don't have a gimmick for a bit, but then we have the thunder thing and like the cool formation. So if you look at the Bruin rubric, there's like the X Factor creativity section, and it's not just restricted to like a prop or a gimmick. There's like choreo, formation, like anything can be creative, and I think that's one of the beauties of Bruin.
Yeah, I mean, thank y'all for coming on.
Yeah,
No
for sure.
Legit.